Hey guys, what's up? Hope you're having a good Wednesday. So today I'm going to be doing another one of the e-cig 101 topic type videos. So I've had people asking me recently to do a video about the negative side effects of vaping. Of course I have a somewhat famous video, the negative side effects of vaping, and this video isn't going to be about that. So if you're looking for a video where I'm spinning shit and lighting things on fire, then you want the other video. So I did the last negative side effects of vaping video. It was actually as a Funny Friday video, and I was just sort of goofing there. So you're not going to see a lot of that in this video, although I do still believe in keeping kids off my drugs, because I still think we don't need to be competing with those kids, but this video ain't about that. Alright guys, so like I said, I'm going to be talking about some of the actual side effects of vaping, some things that I've seen from other people, some things I've noticed myself. Everybody's different, just like any kind of drugs, medications, anything that interacts with your natural body chemistry is going to affect each person differently somewhat, since everybody has different chemistry, body chemistry makeup and things. I've had experience getting a lot of people to switch over from cigarettes to e-cigs, so obviously I've heard about a lot of the issues. But besides that, down at work and my executive director down at work's husband, I also got started on e-cigs. Now interestingly, both of them had the similar issue. They were older, right around 60-ish, and had been smoking a long time, maybe 30-40 years, heavy smokers. But both of them had the same issue where it just really made them cough right off the bat, and they were just never able to get into it. You know, they tried for a couple of weeks, but they would just always have that cough where they just couldn't really get a good inhale. As soon as they start to inhale, it would like lock up on them. So for a long time I really thought that was psychological, and that as they got more used to vaping, you know, in the feel of the vapor as opposed to cigarette smoke, that maybe it would clear up, but it never did seem to. Now, I've always suspected that that was probably because of the PG and the throat hit. And so for anybody who's having that issue, I would definitely recommend switching to 100% VG e-juice and trying that before you give up on e-cigs. Now, unfortunately, there aren't a lot of companies that make 100% VG cigalikes, you know, or the e-cigarettes. But if you're new to smoking e-cigs, you most likely have probably picked up a starter kit with regular cigarette look-alike e-cigs. And so the only company I know of that sells regular e-cigarette, the small, the minis, with 100% VG e-juice is Blue Cigs. They are fairly expensive and not the greatest product in my opinion. I would probably recommend going with either Halo or V2, using their blank cartridges or cartomizers, and then filling them up with your own e-juice, something like this Virgin Vapor, which is 100% VG, all organic e-juice. One of the other things that people who've been vaping for like maybe a couple of weeks, now this is something I did notice, that you do start to notice that you're coughing a little bit more, that maybe you kind of got a sore throat or you're hacking stuff up, and sometimes people will attribute that to the e-cigs. But really, I believe that is because your lungs are starting to clear out. That's the same thing you start to feel if you just actually quit smoking cold turkey. Within a week or two, you usually do start to feel stuff happening in your lungs. Sometimes you'll get a cough or a hack that'll start because you're actually starting to bring some of that stuff back up again. But that will dissipate and go away after a few weeks. At least it did for me. But like I said, I want to get a lot of feedback from everybody. Between 10,000 people subscribed on this channel and another 1,000 over on the forum on Epic e-cig reviews. There's a lot of people out there who've been through this entire process and can tell you exactly the kind of stuff they dealt with and how they were able to make it work out or not for them. So for me, the biggest issue I personally dealt with, and this is something that I know a lot of other people deal with too, and that is having issues with the propylene glycol. Now I vaped straight for about a year off Safe Cig, which was a mostly propylene glycol base e-juice. But it didn't bother me for a long time, for about a year. It really didn't bother me at all. And then all of a sudden I started having a lot of stomach issues, and it would just make my stomach hurt. It would make me feel like I got a burp, but I wouldn't be able to burp, and it would just give me that sort of uncomfortable feeling in your stomach. So, and then the acid reflux too was another thing I noticed with it. So I did a lot of research, and I saw that if you had acid reflux, and nicotine can affect that. But then one of the things I saw interestingly, which I'm not a doctor and I don't know if this is necessarily true, that propylene glycol is actually a derivative or in some way related to glucose. And so I'm actually glucose intolerant. I have a little bit of that wheat allergy. And so I thought, hey, that sounds like something that could be causing the problem. And so that's when I decided to switch over to the vegetable glycerin. And now I really only smoke 100% VGE juices unless I'm doing an e-cig or unless I'm doing an e-juice review for like Halo or some other company. I mean, it doesn't bother me that much to just vape on it for a session, but it's not something I can vape on for more than a half hour, an hour without starting to feel the same stomach issues. So that was really my biggest issue. I know some people have had enough problems that they just haven't been able to get onto the e-cigs. And I think like with anything, you're going to have a certain percentage of the population that maybe for one reason or another just can't do it. The other thing, people, as far as nausea, dizziness, that type of thing, usually you're getting that because you're getting on the verge of nicotine overdose. And it's not that tough to do because a lot of times you can smoke indoors, you can smoke in places and at different times that you used to not be able to have your cigarette. And so we overdo it a little bit, we indulge. And if you're doing something like 18 milligram or 24 milligram nicotine, it's really easy to overdo it. So keep an eye out for that. I would recommend cutting down on the nicotine levels if you're having that issue. Otherwise, again, try switching over to a VGE juice because maybe the PG is causing some of those problems too. Well, anyways, that is most of the problems I've heard about and mostly what I've dealt with. So if anybody else out there has basically some other issues that they've dealt with, or if you guys have had other solutions to some of the common issues like the hacking or coughing or PG issues, let me know. Put it in the comments down below. Alright, that's it for me, guys. I'll catch you guys right here tomorrow. Same vape channel, same vape time. Approximately. Alright, so I lied. Sue me. Pillow spinning. Whoa. Could knock everything over.